Right now, before you try to fix anything, just notice what you've been carrying, that quiet weight behind your ribs, the constant calculating, the feeling that you have to earn your place in the world, earn your peace, earn your success, and yet some part of you already knows you were never meant to live like that. There's a sentence living inside you, not loud, not dramatic, but steady, like a drip of water that shapes stone over time. A sentence you picked up from a moment you barely remember. A tone someone used, a look, a comparison, a disappointment. And that sentence has been deciding what you allow yourself to receive. So let's begin softly, and let's begin now. I'm going to give you the affirmations first. You don't have to force belief. Just listen and feel what happens in your body. Notice which one makes you exhale. Notice which one makes you tighten. Both are honest. I am willing to succeed. I am safe with success. I allow good things to come to me. I trust myself to handle what I desire. I release the need to struggle. I am worthy of being supported. I can take up space without apology. I follow through with love, not pressure. I choose thoughts that build me. I welcome opportunities that match my values. I learn, I grow, I begin again. My success blesses me and benefits others. I am guided and I am grounded. I accept the next level of my life. It gets to be easier than I imagined. Now choose one. Just one. Let it be your companion today, not as a demand, but as a direction, like the way a sunflower turns toward the light without arguing with the sky. Maybe the one you choose is, I am safe with success, or I release the need to struggle, or I am willing to succeed. Willing is a beautiful word. It means you don't have to be fearless. You just have to be open a crack, and a crack is enough. Success can be a charged word. Some people hear it and feel proud, assured. Some people hear it and think it belongs to other people. But success can also be quiet. Success can be following through on what matters to you. Success can be feeling connected to your own life. Success can be doing your work without abandoning yourself. When you use affirmations, you're not trying to trick your mind. You're offering your subconscious new instructions. Your subconscious is loyal. It repeats what it learned, even when what it learned was painful. If it learned that being seen brings criticism, it might make you procrastinate right when things start going well. If it learned that rest makes you lazy, it might keep you busy even when you're exhausted. If it learned that wanting more makes you selfish, it might push you to settle and then call it being grateful. If you felt any of this, I want you to hear it clearly. You're not broken. You're patterned, and patterns can change. Perhaps you know this moment. You're finally making progress. Someone praises you. An opportunity opens, and instead of celebrating, your stomach drops. Your mind scans for danger. What if I mess it up? What if I can't keep up? What if this costs me my peace? That reaction isn't proof you can't succeed. It's proof your system is adjusting. like stepping into bright sunlight after being indoors. Your eyes squint at first, not because the sun is wrong, but because you're learning to receive more light. This is why affirmations work best when they're bridges, not battles. If you say something your body can't accept, the inner voice argues. And that argument isn't failure, it's information. It's the exact place where love can enter. So you start with willingness. You start with safety. You start with what can be true today. Try this quietly, right where you are. I am willing to believe new things about me. I am willing to change my mind. I am willing to succeed. Take a breath and notice your shoulders. Notice your jaw. Notice if anything softens, even a little. Your mind is like a house you've lived in for years. You know which rooms feel safe and which ones you avoid. Affirmations aren't about pretending the house doesn't exist. They're about opening a window in the room that's been closed too long. Fresh air first, renovation later. Reprogramming is repetition with compassion. It's catching the old story and offering a kinder one. It's speaking to yourself like someone you love. Here's a contrast to hold close. This isn't about pushing, but allowing, not proving, but becoming, not forcing success, but letting success feel normal. When you say, I am safe with success, you're sending a message to your whole being. We can have good things and still be okay. We can be seen and still be safe. We can receive and still belong. If you grew up with love that felt conditional, success can feel like a test you might fail. If you were the one who kept the peace, success can feel like a disruption. If you were judged for wanting more, success can feel like betrayal. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to expand. You're allowed to have a life that fits you. Now let's make an affirmation land in the subconscious. 3 gentle keys: feeling, imagery, and tiny action. Feeling first. Your subconscious speaks emotion, so don't rush the words. Let them be slow enough that your body hears them. Say, I allow good things to come to me, and then ask, what would that feel like in my chest? Warmer, softer, more spacious. Even if you can touch that feeling for 1 second, that second is a new instruction. Imagery next. The mind loves pictures. So let success be something gentle, not a spotlight that burns you, but a sunrise that warms you. Not a mountain you must conquer alone, but a path with steady stones. Picture yourself receiving good news and staying calm. Picture yourself being paid fairly and still sleeping well. Picture yourself completing something and feeling tenderness instead of pressure. Let it be ordinary. Ordinary is believable. And then tiny action. The subconscious learns through evidence. A small, loving step becomes proof. If your affirmation is, I follow through with love, not pressure, the tiny action might be starting for 10 minutes, not finishing, starting. If your affirmation is, I am worthy of being supported, the tiny action might be asking for help or letting someone help without immediately repaying it. If your affirmation is, "I release the need to struggle," the tiny action might be choosing the simpler solution, the clearer boundary, the earlier bedtime. You're teaching your system, "I can move forward and still be safe." Maybe you've seen this pattern in yourself. You sit down to do what matters, and suddenly you need to clean the kitchen, reorganize a drawer, answer messages you could answer later. And then you call yourself lazy. But what if it's not laziness? What if it's protection? What if part of you believes that if you fully try and it doesn't work, it will hurt too much? So you half try, and then you blame circumstances instead of facing the tender truth that you really want this. If that's you, say this gently: "I am safe to try. I am safe to learn. I am safe to be a beginner again." And then return to your chosen affirmation, like you're returning to your breath. Here's another common moment. You're offered something good, a compliment, an invitation, a chance, and you minimize it. You say, "Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could do it." You shrink to keep the room comfortable. That habit often started long ago. Maybe attention was risky. Maybe shining brought jealousy. Maybe you learned it was safer to be small. But you are not living there anymore. You can take up space without apology. Try this. I can be visible and still be loved. I can succeed and still be kind. I can receive and still belong. Notice what happens when success is linked to goodness, not selfishness. Because your heart often wants success only if it stays true, and it can. Now let's meet the voice that argues back. That voice isn't your enemy. It's a younger part of you trying to prevent disappointment by expecting the worst. When it says, "Who do you think you are?" you can respond like this: "I'm someone who is learning to trust myself. I'm someone who is allowed to grow. I'm someone who is willing." You don't have to crush doubt. You don't have to shout over it. You can hold it and choose anyway. Maybe you've done this. You set a goal, get excited, and then you wait for the perfect moment. You tell yourself you'll begin when you feel more confident, when you have more time, when you're more ready, and days pass. The desire stays quietly aching. Often it's because you've been trained to believe success requires a flawless version of you, a fearless you, a you who never gets tired or sensitive or uncertain. But success doesn't require perfection. It requires relationship. A relationship with yourself that says, "I will not abandon you in the process." So we install a new instruction. I trust myself to handle what I desire. I trust myself to learn as I go. I do not need the whole path to take one true step. If you're listening in the evening, let your eyelids soften for a moment. Let your breath slow. Your mind receives new ideas more easily when you're not in a rush. Now let's deepen a few affirmations so they become lived, not just spoken. I am willing to succeed. This means you stop waiting for certainty. You let willingness be enough. You begin while you're still a little shaky, like walking through fog. You can't see the whole road, but you can see the next few feet. I am safe with success. This is for the part of you that associates success with pressure, envy, responsibility, or loss. Safety with success means you learn boundaries, you learn rest, you learn that your worth is not on trial. You can be praised without gripping it. You can be seen without shrinking. I release the need to struggle. If you've been praised for being strong, struggle can become identity. But you don't need exhaustion to be worthy. You don't need pain to be deserving. Releasing struggle doesn't mean you never face challenges. It means you stop choosing unnecessary difficulty as proof. It gets to be easier than I imagined. Ease is not the absence of effort. Ease is the presence of alignment. When you're aligned, effort flows. It doesn't drain you the same way. Here's a story you might recognize. Someone wants to launch a project. She has skill and heart, but right when it's time to share it, she decides she needs one more class, one more certification, one more sign. Underneath is a fear. If this works, I'll have to sustain it. If I succeed, I'll be responsible. What shifts things isn't more pressure. It's a new agreement with herself. She begins to say, I follow through with love, not pressure. She takes one tiny action, one email, one post, one offer, and she proves to her subconscious, I can take a step and still breathe. Another story. Someone finally receives a raise or praise, and instead of joy, guilt arrives. He thinks of people who have less. He feels like he must give it away, overwork for it, apologize for it. That isn't generosity. That's fear wearing a sweet mask. Real generosity comes from fullness, not depletion. So for guilt, you can say, I can receive without taking from anyone. My success blesses me and benefits others. There is enough for me and enough for others. And you practice receiving with open hands. You let the good be clean. Now let's talk about identity. Many people think affirmations are about changing circumstances, but often they're about changing who you believe you're allowed to be. If you believe you're the struggling one, you may unconsciously return to struggle because it feels familiar. If you believe you're the responsible one, you may refuse help even when it's offered. If you believe you're the one who never finishes, you may stop right before completion because completion feels like being judged. So we bring love to identity. I am becoming someone who follows through. I am practicing success. I am learning to finish what matters to me. And that last one can be very tender, because finishing means being seen. Finishing means you can no longer hide inside potential, and you're allowed to be seen. Here's another place success can feel complicated: relationships. Sometimes you start to rise, and the people around you don't know where to put that new version of you. Maybe they tease you. Maybe they question you. Maybe they suddenly need you to stay the same so they don't have to face their own longing. Perhaps you've had this exact moment. You share good news, and the response is lukewarm, or someone changes the subject, Or they say, "Must be nice," with a sharp little edge, and something in you wants to shrink, not because you're wrong for growing, but because you're tender. This is where you remind yourself other people's discomfort is not your instruction manual. You can love them and still choose yourself. Try this slowly. I honor my path. I do not need permission to grow. I can be loyal to my heart and kind to others. And then you keep going, gently, not to prove anything, just because your life is yours. And sometimes the resistance isn't outside you. Sometimes it's inside you, dressed up as practicality. It says, don't get too excited. Don't expect too much. If you keep your hopes low, you won't be disappointed. That voice is trying to protect your heart, but it can also keep your life very small. So when you hear it, you can respond with compassion. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, and I am allowed to hope. I am allowed to expand. I am allowed to be pleasantly surprised by life. Now I want to give you a simple way to practice that doesn't turn into pressure. Because the moment you make this into a strict rule, your system will rebel. We're building safety, not another measuring stick. Choose your one affirmation again and use it in 3 small moments. One when you first open your eyes. One sometime in the middle of your day, even if it's whispered. And one as you're settling down. In the morning, let it be like setting the tone of the room. Not loud, just clear. If your mind is busy, place your hand on your heart and say the line once, slowly. In the middle of the day, use it as a reset. You don't have to be calm to reset. You can be in the middle of a messy moment and still choose a new thought. And at night, let it be a soft closing of the day. Even if the day didn't go the way you wanted, you can still plant a seed. Seeds, Dawn, demand perfection from the weather. They just keep reaching. And if you forget for a day or a week, you haven't ruined anything. You're allowed to begin again. That's part of the success you're practicing. Returning with love. Here's a little micro story that might make you smile. Someone starts saying, "I follow through with love, not pressure." The first day, she says it and feels nothing. The second day, she says it and rolls her eyes. The third day, she says it and notices she's about to slam her laptop shut out of frustration. And instead, she takes one breath and does one more small step. Not heroic, not dramatic, just different. And that difference becomes a new identity, someone who stays with herself. That's how it happens. Not in grand declarations, but in tiny choices that build trust. And if you're someone who says affirmations and immediately feels like you're lying, that's okay. You can make your affirmation more honest. You can make it a doorway instead of a wall. Instead of "I am successful," try "I am learning what success feels like for me." Instead of "everything is easy," try "I am open to more ease." Instead of "I never doubt," try "I can doubt and still move forward." Your subconscious relaxes when you're honest. Honesty is soothing. Now, one more tender pattern. Sometimes, right before you reach a new level, you create a small crisis. You start an argument. You distract yourself. You suddenly need to rearrange your whole life. It's not because you're dramatic. It's because a part of you is trying to return you to the familiar. Familiar doesn't always mean good. It just means known. So when you notice that urge to create chaos, you can pause and say, I am safe to stay steady. I am safe to let things go well. I do not need to sabotage my own peace. And then you do something very simple. You drink water. You step outside. You take 3 slow breaths. You send one honest message. You make one small, kind choice. You come back to center. Because success, in its truest form, is often just steadiness with self-respect. Now, let's keep the energy side of this grounded and simple. Your thoughts carry a tone. Your tone becomes a feeling. Your feeling shapes your choices. Over time, those choices shape your experience. So we're not chasing success, we're tuning to it. We're tuning to calm confidence. We're tuning to clarity. We're tuning to worthiness. You can feel the difference between desperate wanting and quiet readiness. Desperate wanting feels tight and urgent. Quiet readiness feels steady and open. Affirmations help you shift from hunger to readiness. Try this. I welcome opportunities that match my values. I do not chase what drains me. I choose what supports my peace. Success that costs your peace is not success. It's a trade you no longer need to make. If you're sensitive and you feel a lot, that isn't weakness, it's information. It can be a compass. So let this be true. My sensitivity is a gift. I can be sensitive and successful. I can be soft and strong at the same time. Soft and strong, like water, like roots, like the ocean that can cradle you and still move mountains. You practice, you may notice your mind catching the old story sooner. You may notice you speak more kindly to yourself. You may notice you take action with less drama. You may also notice resistance rising, like sediment in water when you stir it. That doesn't mean you're going backward. It means you're becoming aware of what's been running in the background. When doubt comes, do this one simple thing. Name it and choose again. Old story, I'll mess it up. New line, I trust myself to handle what I desire. Old story, I'm not ready. New line, I am willing to succeed. Old story, if I rest, I'll fall behind. New line, I release the need to struggle. Old story, if I shine, I'll be judged. New line, I can take up space without apology. This is reprogramming, one moment at a time, not with force, with devotion. Now, let's close by letting these words settle into you like warm tea. Wherever you are, let your body soften a little more. Let your breath be natural. Repeat after me slowly, like you're speaking to someone you adore. I am willing to succeed. I am safe with success. I allow good things to come to me. I trust myself to handle what I desire. I release the need to struggle. I am worthy of being supported. I follow through with love, not pressure. I welcome opportunities that match my values. I learn, I grow, I begin again. My success blesses me and benefits others. I am guided and I am grounded. I accept the next level of my life. It gets to be easier than I imagined. And now choose the one line your heart wants most. Say it again, quietly. Let it be a promise you make to yourself, the kind that feels like warmth instead of weight. You don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to return again and again. Like coming back to your breath, like coming back to the shore, like coming back to yourself. Because you are not here to struggle your way into worthiness. You are already worthy. You are here to remember what you've always been. Take one more breath. Feel the steadiness underneath your life. Feel the possibility in front of you. And let this be true right now. I am worthy. I am ready to receive. I am safe to succeed.